Hello, welcome once again to Living and Active. This is going to be episode 8 of Strumming and Gumming. And by the way, if you watched the last video that I uploaded that was entitled S&G episode 7, S&G stands for Strumming and Gumming, and that's exactly what this playlist is for. I find something to strum, and then I run my mouth for a little bit. So anyway, right now what we have in front of you is a circa 1890s, very late, let's say it this way, very late 18th, sorry, not 18th, very late 19th century or early 20th century. So either Victorian era or Edwardian era. Chartola Grand is the name of this particular novel zither. It's the official classification of these types of instruments from this age. You can see all of the information here. So even over 100 years ago, this instrument was a $30 instrument. I'm not going to do the inflation math for what that would be way back when in today's money, but I promise you I don't want to pay it. As you can see, this thing is definitely showing its age, and there's a purpose behind this video. And if you've seen any of my other content on this video or on this channel, I'm pretty sure you've figured that out already. But if this looks like a weird appendage to have followed by empty space, this is the piece that actually goes there. It fits a lot better now than it did before I've had the tension on it, but there's still it still just isn't right. So anyway, yeah, this thing is in pieces. There's this piece, and it came with a couple pieces that I don't even know what they are. This dowel, wherever this goes, I am not sure. I thought when I bought it that it was for connecting this some kind of way, but there are no dowel holes. And somewhere around here, there it is. There's this little thing that also came with the instrument when I purchased it. No idea where it goes. So I just don't, maybe something to do with this, but I don't know. It's broken. So let's come back out here. Let's turn this light on, shall we? There we go. So we come back out here. You can see the finish is absolutely trashed, as is most of the instrument. I'm not doing much strumming right now, but because of reasons, but I'll just let you take in all of this old world goodness. There's supposed to be a little piece of like molding here, and molding as in a piece of wood trim around the base of this, or around this bottom corner and the bottom edge of this instrument, to protect the ends of the strings and to protect the person playing the instrument from the edges of the strings. But as you can see, that part is not here. The parts that are here, this is supposed to be the means by which you chord, or you make chords, and you can kind of sort of get two chords to ring out, but all of the felt in there is shot. I've already taken this thing apart. I tried to stabilize the metal as much as possible. Let me turn the light back off. I tried to stabilize the metal as much as possible, as it was rusted and corroded. I put a little Neverdol or something like that on it to bring out the shine. I hit it with some quadruple aught steel wool to clean up the rust. So I got it stabilized. There's no way to put another finish on it without completely stripping it. I'm not going to do that. But I got it cleaned up. The springs and the felt, like I said, inside of this little mechanism are completely shot. I actually had to add more material into the inside of these little levers just to keep enough tension on them to keep them off the strings when I reinstalled that little device, just so I could try to tune. You can see this little thing right here. This is part of the bridge, actually, or sorry, part of the nut. If this was a guitar, this is your rail that the strings go over, and this is what keeps the distance and makes the strings supposedly able to tune and ring out true. That's broken. If you look back here, there's a nice little crack right there. Look around here, you can see that part of the laminate on the back has been broken off, probably during the same action that snapped off the little spindle here. And you can also see there are all kinds of cracks down the back. One might say to themselves, well, Leland, why would you buy an instrument that's in such bad shape? It's busted up. It would probably fall apart if you tried to put it back together. Oh, and by the way, many of the some of the more important tuning pegs here in the chording section are stripped, so they don't tune. Many of the smaller strings are tunable. I've already gone through it. I spent 3 hours on this thing so far. Oh, by the way, there's an American Eagle here with an American flag. We'll see if the light makes it better or worse. Worse. But yeah, that's what that little decal is there. But I have an affinity for these old beat up instruments, and it's because of the stories. I like stories. I have a saying that I got from, and I might tell the story of it sometime. For some of you that have been around for a while, you've probably heard me tell the story of how I came into the notion of tell me a story, storyteller. And I am all about the story. As you can see, these sewing machines, while they look cool on the surface, I've been elbow deep into every single one of them, and all of the ones I have out in the other room, in the main living area of my apartment. And I'm here to tell you that these these are in pretty rough shape. Some of them are missing parts. Some of them are seized up. The decals on a lot of them are trash. The finishes on most of them are absolutely gonzo. You got like that weirdo up there. That's a tension spring. I don't know if you can see it. That's a tension spring that has been just pulled completely out of shape and is useless, but it's still sitting there. So I love the things that tell a story. Like right here, here's my typewriter, one of my mini antique. These are called standard desktop typewriters because they're too big and heavy to lug around. They're not portable by any means. This one in particular is Royal KMM. This one has a name. His name is One-Eyed Jack, or Jack Spade. I'll tell that story some other time, but I got it. It was in desperate need of help. It is still in desperate need of help. I need to learn what kind of help I need to give it, so that's why it's still sitting there in disrepair. But I love these things that have a story, and they're worthwhile stories. Because these things have been around forever, They've gone through all of the abuse that people can give to them. And the thing is, with most of these machines, even as much smack as I was just talking about them, you can get them to a point where there's some functionality to them. And so the purpose behind this video is more gumming than strumming, admittedly. But the purpose behind this video is to illustrate that I'm in my office chair. That's why all the weird things, the motions and everything else that are not common to when I'm shooting from my wheelchair, I can transfer into an office chair, and I get to do all cool things like swivel. Can't do this in the wheelchair. With the remaining function I have in my lower body, but that's my little vacation. I get to rock a little bit. I get to swivel, but my body is busted up. It has also gone through a lot. It has been misused and abused and broken up and everything else, and I live with the consequences and the natural fallout from those things. My social life, personal life, has not been much better, and at my age, which is just shy of 50, it would be very tempting for I wouldn't say tempting, because it's not a place anybody, I think, willingly wants to go, but it would be easy for someone outside of my life, looking at my life, to suppose that there's just no worth there. I have the personal testimony that I live my life according to what Scripture says, and I trust what God has said and what Jesus has said about the intrinsic worth that I have, because He created me and because He gave Himself for me such a high price just so He could have me with Him when this busted up life is over. And there's not much time in this life. There's not much time left in this body. But just like I've just spent the last... I bought this thing, I found it, I bought it. I spent the last few hours taking it apart and cleaning it and doing what I can to at least get an initial tune on it. That's just a small hint of the kind of work that Jesus has put into me with addictions, depression, what people call trauma, but which is really just dealing with surviving horrible things from your earliest memories on, at the hands of other people and whatever else. But even though it's still missing parts, and even though the body has lost its shape and may not be able to go back together the way anybody would recognize it, the way it was supposed to be, even though this cording mechanism is absolutely fried and will not function the way it's supposed to, even though many of those holes are stripped out and I can't tune this thing the way it's supposed to be, even though it's got all those cracks and breaks on the back of it, even though it's missing this entire rail right here, I was still able, after going through it a couple times. I'm going to have to switch hands on the video here, or I might just, hang on, I'm going to try something, I don't know. This is fine cinematography here. But even for all of its faults, there is still enough of its original intended value. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. After a lot of work, mind you, what is salvageable from this instrument, with all the damage, even if I don't put back the things that are broken, it's even missing strings. Look, it's missing its high C. But even if I don't get this thing put completely back together again, replace the missing strings, or do any of the other work to get it to the way it was originally meant to be, the way it is now, still can do things like this. Make sure I'm looking at the right strings here. Oops. I'm not looking at the first thing. This is very hard to do, by the way. Let me try this again. There's a point to this, I promise. Okay. So remembering all of that stuff I just said, now we'll try it. I hope the microphone picked that up and you recognize the tune, the melody. But even for all of its problems, I can still, once I get it fully in tune, I'm going to let it sit like this for a while and let it get used to being under tension again. But once I get fully in tune on the part that I can tune, I should be able to play just about any melody that I know how to play. And this busted up throwaway thing that someone donated to a thrift store in pieces can still have a story to tell to benefit others. And the story that I'm hoping you are hearing me trying to tell, even though I'm probably doing a bad job of it, is that no matter how busted up and wasted, worthless, meaningless, and empty your life may feel after however many decades of the things that you've had to go through, the things that you've experienced, the heartaches that haven't healed, your life belongs to the one who purchased it for himself, and your value comes from the fact that he made you and he desires you. Put your life into his hands and rest, knowing that he wants to do the work to restore as much, to restore to you as much as is possible with the time remaining. And then after that, after you watch the rest of the content on this channel, you'll know what I'm talking about. To be completely remade, it would be like if I could somehow build this thing up from the ground up all over again, and it still be the same instrument but brand new. That's the same kind of restoration that is waiting for those who have put themselves in the hands of Jesus and trusting him as their creator and their redeemer. So whatever's left of your life, whatever's left of your body, whatever you see as maybe not being worth much, in the hands of the one who made you and wants to remake you, you would probably be surprised at what is possible. So, that's it for episode 8 of Strumming and Gumming. I know I didn't do much strumming, and the gumming is probably not what the same kind of gumming that it usually appears on this playlist. See? But anyway, so hopefully this is not a waste of anybody's time. I don't feel like this content was very well planned out, but this is me, and I'm going through a pretty rough spell in terms of just my own physical reality and this day and pain and everything else. And so I'm having one of those days where it's hard to remember, what worth, what value does God see in me, and the truth of the matter is it's not really any of my business. My business is to trust that Jesus does love me, that he did create me, that he is the one who sets the value for my life. I don't. and whatever He has in store for me, I can rest in the knowledge that it is good. So one last pan across this defective instrument, and I will sign off with Hebrews 11:6. Without faith it is impossible to please God, because those who come to God must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of those who seek Him. I hope somehow, in some way, this helps. Until next time, if there is a next time, and it might not be, God bless you.